Listen, Mark, you and I are vibing. We're having fun. I want to play a game with you because you're a legend,
boy.
right, on and off the field, and it's
Okay.
a game I'm calling Cast on Blast. So
Cast on Blast?
Cast on Blast. Here's how.
Oh, no. I
I'm
don't like where this is going.
some NFL quarterbacks, and I want
Okay.
you to tell me some of their strengths and a weakness. Don't hold back. It can be a story. It can be anything you know of. Give me the tea. I got you here. I need to know. So first up, we have some would consider the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Oof. I don't know if he has any weaknesses. This guy's, he's an absolute stud. You know, he has that Mamba mentality that's become popular since the passing of Kobe Bryant. And it is a commitment to this higher standard. And he is unrelenting. He is, in a constant pursuit of a competitive edge, and it shows in what he's willing to sacrifice, and when you make that commitment, you sacrifice time with your family, you sacrifice, your own personal free time, you sacrifice a lot of things. You get a lot of cool things, but you sacrifice a lot. So other than, we played him one time and beat him in the divisional round with the Jets after they just thrashed us on Monday night. They beat us like 42-3, it was just an absolute embarrassment. And so we were so upset after that game. We went up in the divisional round and beat them and knocked them out of the playoffs, and kind of shocked them. So that was kind of our moment. But when you realize when you play against those type of players, like everybody has those one or two moments, he's got a bunch of moments like that. So he's pretty incredible.
Pat Mahomes.
Oof. Freaky arm talent. And you see him transition from college to the NFL through a lot of interceptions in college, gets to the NFL, doesn't play right away. And he sits behind Alex Smith, one of the best quarterbacks at taking care of the football. He immediately implements that into his game, and his potential just skyrockets. And it was so impressive to watch. It still is impressive to watch. And he knows the strength of being associated with a head coach like Andy Reid. So he's hitched his trailer to him for 10 years for $500 million. I'm sure you've seen the contract, but forget the money part. And I know that's crazy to say, but you can tell when players love to play the game, and the money is, you love football for football, not because of what football gets you. And he's that guy. But to have that awareness and understand, like, yeah, I need to be with this coach because he's going to help me become the best player I can be. That was pretty intelligent, and he's going to reap the benefits of that. I don't know what's the downside for Patrick Mahomes other than, this offseason, I don't know how you top it, right? It's like Super Bowl MVP, owns part of a baseball team, engaged, baby on the way, Super Bowl ring, wedding ring. It was just like, dude, when's the reality show? When's the country album spinoff? Like, what? This is insane.
Yeah, the problem is when you do everything, the only place you can go is down. So maybe.
Yeah, right. Well, don't even say that. Don't even put it in the universe.
Yeah, I won't. I love Pat Mahomes. Love Pat Mahomes. All right. What about Aaron Rodgers?
He is on a scorched earth tour right now. And talk about flipping the bird to a lot of doubters. That's Aaron Rodgers right now. And he's got that same thing, that commitment to excellence. He set a gold standard for a long time. And, he's clapped back a little bit on some people. And, he's like, he said it on McAfee show, I think, but he was like, yeah, people are saying I had a down year last year. He goes, I know plenty of quarterbacks that would be happy with a year like that. That'd be a career year for them. And that's a down year for me. And I was like, okay, boy, talk that. Like,
I'm a Giants fan. I understood exactly what he was saying.
I was like, damn, let's go, A-Rod. So I was stoked for him, but he's, we have the same agent, and we're more or less buddies, and I'm just stoked for him. He's letting people know, he's putting people on notice, and that's a tough position to be in, and receive a lot of that criticism, and he's handled it with class, and like I said, he's clapped back a little bit, and I'm happy for him.
A few more for you. What about Russell Wilson?
Man, him and Coach Carroll have a perfect marriage, and Coach Carroll was our coach at USC, and he's instilled so many of the same themes, and his passion for the sport, it marries with Coach Carroll. Coach Carroll wants ballers. He wants gym rats. He wants guys that are all about football and commit to the game, commit to their teammates. And that's Russ, 100%. You know, he's all in. And Coach Carroll preaches that you can't win the game in the first 3 quarters. It has to be done in the 4th quarter or overtime. So if the game's still going, we got a shot to win. And if we don't win, we never lose. We just run out of time because we are going to come back anyway. You know, that's like his mentality. And so you could see that now just oozing out of Russell Wilson, that at any point, if he's got the ball in his hands, watch out because they have a chance to win. So that's been fun to watch.
How important is, this seems maybe like an obvious question, but how important is that like coach QB partnership? You know what I mean? Because I feel like you can have the best quarterback on the field, but if the coaching isn't there, the coaching's not there.
Oh, 100%. And when you step in between the white lines, when you're on the field, you are essentially the coach. Right. And they radio into the quarterback and they tell you the play, but it's your job to explain that to everybody, get everybody lined up. You're part coach, you're part player, you're part therapist, because guys have their spat matches. You have to talk to certain players a certain way, right? You can't rip somebody that will just fold up like a cheap suit if you embarrass them in front of other guys, but other guys want to be yelled at. Some guys need to be, you know, stroked and patted on the butt. Other guys need to just be completely torn down, and then they turn into a monster and want to prove you wrong. So it's your job to learn all those things. And Russ has done a beautiful job of understanding his teammates. And a lot of that is Coach Carroll. He's got a psychology background. I mean, we would play teams when we were at USC, we'd play Washington State. We'd end up beating them by 50 points. But that whole week leading up to the game, we thought we were playing, you know, the NFL Pro Bowl team or something. Like, he made them seem like we can't just go out there, roll our helmet out there with the SC logo on it and expect to win. We got to execute. And so you could see that coming to fruition there in Seattle.
What about Dak Prescott?
Oh, gosh. That one hurts because I was there his rookie year, and he's one of my favorite humans, not just quarterbacks. And talk about a guy who's been through, you know, more than a lifetime worth of emotion and sorrow and pain and losing his mom, then losing his brother recently. This kid was so mature when I got there, and a lot of that was because of his life experience and losing his mom in college. He was so much more mature, and he's this young player, but he has this discernment and awareness like a 65-year-old Supreme Court justice or something. Like, it was incredible. And he had such a way about him. You know, you'd walk in a room and you knew Dak was there, not because he was doing anything flashy or anything, but he was just so polite, respectful, you know, and asserted himself as the leader all the time. And guys gravitated towards that. So when you see him go down, you just, you know, every positive vibe and blessing and prayer you can send to him, that's kind of where you go immediately, because you want to see him back on top. And nobody likes a story like a comeback story. So I really hope that's in his future. And if anybody's got the makeup to do it, it's him.
Yeah, even as a fan, you can tell he has a commanding, just this maturity about him. And it's really inspiring to watch. Okay, a few more here. Cam Newton.
Oh, man. Super Cam. I was so excited for him. Same thing, comeback story, you know, and he documented the whole thing, right, this offseason. And everybody was like, well, is this just like for flair? Is this just for flash or whatever? And at some point, the rubber's got to meet the road, and hats off to him for making it happen. You know, it sounds like he's getting better with COVID, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be ready to play here soon. But other than that, I mean, that's the only blemish on the season. And man, he's had a great start. Credit to him. Credit to Coach Belichick for adapting to a new, you know, way of running an offense, and Josh McDaniel, their offensive coordinator, for implementing a quarterback that's just such a contrasting style to Tom Brady. The dichotomy of those two players is insane. And the fact that they've made it happen and been successful again. I mean, people hate the Patriots because they're good. Then they lose Tom Brady, and people hate them even more because they're good with somebody else, you know? So that was, that's impressive to see. And if the only reason people hate you is because you're good, you're doing something right.
As a New Yorker, it's just fun to hate the Patriots. It's just fun. All right, what about Drew Brees?
Oh, man, just to see him come back from everything this offseason, you know, that could have been a situation where it really divided the team, and it sounded like it, at least from the outside perspective, that it galvanized that group. And, you know, this country was hurting, still is in a lot of ways. And so I hope, you know, his comments and then the other comments that came after that in the wake of his comments kind of brought people together and forced the conversation and reminded people that that's the only way we're going to get over some of these things is talking to each other. And more importantly than talking, listening, right? Instead of just yelling into this void, my way's right. No, my way's right. Nothing gets accomplished. And so that was the bigger issue. And then now he's on this tour right now, like the old guys tour, right? He's on the senior PGA tour, proving that I can still run around with these young whippersnappers and I can still make it happen. And so it's that's not easy to do. And I guarantee you, like even later in my career, the warm up for the workout, the warm up for the game, like it almost takes longer than the actual game just because you got to ramp up. And then as soon as that thing's over, instead of, going hanging out with your buddies and yeah, we can go, see this movie, we can go eat here, we could go do this, that, and the other. Dude, I'm going right in the ice tub. I got a million things to do just to wake up tomorrow and feel halfway decent. So I know he's on that protocol right now, and that's not easy. So he's got his work cut out for him.
Age is just a number. All right, last one, because I just want your quick take. I know you have to go, but Lamar Jackson.
He is the Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati of quarterbacks. I mean, this guy is so special and has such a scary skill set. I think the only thing in his game that's lacking at this point and can only get better, it's a lot like basketball players. They get into the league, they can drive to the hole, they can dish it, they can slam dunk, they can do all these splash plays, but they got to work on their jumper, right? They got to get a solid jumper to be respected in the league and have that, part of their game down pat. So people really have to respect you. And so the only thing missing right now from him is like consistency in the pocket, 10 plus play drives where he has to convert third downs, 3 or 4 in one drive consistently. That's the only downside right now. And you've seen him go against the Chiefs a couple times, and that's what they try and do. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him have any of these splash plays and force him to beat us, dropping back, going through his reads, executing these reads, throwing an accurate football. That's not easy to do on a consistent basis. And so that's really the only blemish right now, I think. But, with time on task, with the type of supporting cast he has and the trajectory of that team, I think he'll be able to handle that, and he's going to be a force for these next few years.
Oh, Mark, you are a force. None of these quarterbacks can also be a baby alien on stage and puppeteer. Thank you so much for stopping by and playing the game and chatting with me. You're incredible.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Don't miss The Masked Singer Wednesdays at 8/7 Central on Fox. The season is absolutely incredible. We have to take a quick break, but more Reality Check when we come back. Stick with us.